Hey y'all, it's Allie from Greenwich Mystics, and today I'm going to show you a few of my favorite ways to make a 2-wire weave. Check out my links down below for product suggestions, follow me on social media, and let's get into it. So an optional tool is a grip assist. I love this wooden clamp personally. You don't have to have this, but it definitely helps. I'll be using 20 gauge, but you can use any gauge that you would like. Here is just a general guideline on the screen of gauges I think you should stick with if you are kind of having a hard time with your weaving and some common mistakes you might make. I'm going to cut a couple sections of some small wire. I totally suggest doing this as a beginner if you're kind of stumped or aren't really sure what to create. I would just take some time to create some small elements and use it as practice, and you can either toss them or keep them and use them for future projects. If you're creating thicker weaves and you're having a hard time with consistent tension, use a bead and weave underneath the bead. Periodically remove the bead and place it back on to make sure you're keeping the tension right. But if you're going to do a really tight weave like this, you don't need that at all. But if you do thicker weaves, like some people like to do for bracelets or kind of cage type of designs for pendants, then you can use that little bead hack. I'm going to start with my personal favorite 2-wire weave. I'm going to start with about 5 loops around one wire, and then you're going to wrap twice around both. And feel free to use your other finger as like a guide to make sure you're keeping it straight. Makes it easier to secure. And make sure you're counting how many like in between loops you're doing, because you don't want it to look funky and mismatched. So again, I'm using my finger to guide the wire. When you're wrapping around both wires, you want to be really careful to not be too rough or have your tension too tight, because then you can overlap your wires too much and make the space too tight. And then adjust as needed, and we will keep this design up, so about 5 loops in between and then 2 over both. And then just adjusting and smushing as you go along. The real trick to weaving is just taking your time and making sure that your wires aren't crisscrossed and you're keeping your tension nice and even. So again, you can see here if I pull too tight, it makes that left wire kind of overlap on that right one and just make that spacing way too tight. So just keep going, and you can see here I'm kind of guiding that wire straight. So instead of going at an angle like that, I'm gonna go straight back like that. So you don't want to go up, you want to go straight. Because if you go more at an upwards direction, it leaves slack. It causes, excess tension because you really have to pull that slack around the wire. And then again, just pinch and adjust as you go, making sure that gap is nice and even. I like to remove it from the clamp because after a while it's more hurtful than helpful. but you can also move it upwards in the clamp if you need to. I just find that after a while and you get a certain length going, it just kind of wobbles and bends around, and it's just harder, and it's easier to just hold it with your hands. So I'm just going to keep going. There are multiple ways that you can do this, so you can switch this up. You can just do 1 over both of them. You can do 3 over both of them. You can change up how large the gap is. You can change up if you're using half round wire or not, or round wire. And you want to be careful when you're straightening it out to not bend it too hard. So when you're pushing it down, don't push it down too hard, because you can kind of like bend it backwards. And it won't like mess the piece up, but it's just like annoying and an extra thing to do. So just be careful. So yeah, you can do single overneath. You can do 1 over both, which is what I'm doing here. I'm doing 1 over both, and then I believe 3 in between. I think the next one I do is 3 over both, and then like 6 in between, and I'll show you at the end what all those look like. So you can definitely switch up the look of this if you want to, but my personal favorite is the 2 over both and then the 5 in between. Cutie alert, cutie pie alert. So we have my cat, Cutie Break, because she just has to be in everything as cats do. Anyway, here is the finished weave. So you can see that first one we did with the 2 over both, and then 1, and then 3. So you can just kind of pick your vibe. Okay, on to the next one. So this one is going to be super simple, and I'm also going to kind of teach you how to do a bail. So I like to just start with like a couple loops around one, even if that's not how it's going to like be. It's just easier to start that way, because for this one we're just going to do 1 around each side. So I think I started with like 3 or 4, but you can always unravel it when you're done. But for this one, doing 1 on each side. So 1, 1, 1. And again, using my finger to guide and adjusting the width, making sure my tension is nice and steady. So this is good for bails and like general weaving work. So if you want to really mindlessly practice your weaving, this is a great one to start. And again, like if you're not really feeling creative, just like do this when you're watching TV. So that is the start of that, and you can continue to hold that the tension like so. And in a second I'm going to expand this, and we're gonna kind of turn this into a bail, like a fanned out bail, because some bails can be straight. You can make like a thick, straight, sturdy bail. Next, so before I was doing 1 on each side, now I'm going to do 2 on each side. So 1, 2, and then hop over to the other side. If you're going to be doing like a fanned out bail or a fanned out weave, You don't really want to do like a 1 and 1 on each side. It's just going to be really difficult to secure it. It's going to kind of slide around a lot. So you at least want to do 2 on each side. So 1, 2, hop over. 1, 2, hop over. You get the spiel. And again, just be mindful and check your, not your strings, your wires as you're going, and making sure they're not lopsided or crooked and they're straight, or at the ends they're easy enough to differentiate. So for this fanned out look, so it's a lot easier when you kind of outline your shape so you know really what you're working with. So I'm gonna go ahead and create the shape that I want my bail to be and the size. And once you're happy with the size, you'll want to straighten out where the ends will meet. And that's looking pretty good to me, even though this is not attached to any pendant. So again, we're just going to do 2 on each side. So 1, 2, and then cross over. And this is going to be the pattern, and up until we meet that peak point where it's the thickest, and I will meet you back and show you what you need to do. Oh, also, make sure that as you're doing this, you periodically straighten it out, as in like don't have it sideways, look at it straight, because sometimes your tension might be a little off, or you might be holding it weird or looking at it kind of funny, and when you hold it up straight, it's lopsided. So every 5-ish weaves, you maybe want to kind of check and make sure everything's looking straight. So this is what I personally do when I reach this point on my bail, because when you start to descend on your bail or on like a fanned out weave, it gets a little slippery and slidey and kind of hard to work with. So I add an extra loop. So instead of doing 2 around like we have been, I'm going to do 3. So 1, 2, 3, and then go to the other side. 1, 2, 3. Go to the other side. I find that this adds a little bit more grip. You still might find that it's a little slidey, but it's not going to be near as difficult to work with. And again, use your fingers if you need to use. And you'll just have to use your fingers and pliers to keep the wire down as you work with it. But I find adding an extra loop in that rotation helps keep it more secure. So that is my bail tip, and you'll just keep doing that. I do, at a certain point, once I feel like the grip is there and it's good, I return back to the original pattern. So I would return back to the 2 loops in a rotation instead of 3. And on a real pendant, I would make the right side a lot thicker so it would match when you fold it over. But for this tutorial's sake, I just kind of shortened it. But you can check out my simple cabochon tutorial that hopefully will be posted by now and linked down below. Here is the last one that we're going to go through today. I really love this one. I don't use this one near as much. I'm going to kind of show you 2 variations of this. Not kind of, it is definitely 2 variations of this. So the design is going to start with one loop over one wire. You're going to loop over both, and then you'll loop over the other single one that you didn't loop over. So again, looping over a single one, looping over both. So I looped over that top one, looped over both, and now I'm looping singularly on that bottom one, looping over both, looping only on the top one, looping over both, looping only on the bottom one, looping over both, only top, both, only bottom. Okay, this is the other variation. So you're going to single loop on the bottom, single loop on the top, loop over both. Single loop over the bottom, single loop over top, loop over both. Doesn't really matter which loop you put it over first, but single loop both and then you loop both. Single loop both, loop both. Single loop both, loop both. And yeah, it has this really cool design that you could use for a bail. This would be great for like a ring band. You could use it for like a bracelet band or like a cuff band. Lots of fun things you could weave with this pattern. I definitely need to incorporate it more. Ta-da! So what that looks like. So you can see the left half was the single loop both, single loop both, single loop both, and then the right side. So the left side's a little bit more like not asymmetrical, but more kind of diagonal and crisscrossy, and then the right side is a little bit more straight. So yeah, cute, both fun and cute. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please leave suggestions for future videos down below. Follow me on social media, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!